You know, when I think about Trinity, I think a lot, family comes to mind, honestly, and I think about all of the different events through the years that we've attended, and I think Carolyn can attest to the fact that we almost always get in the car. This just happened recently. We were at the winter concert. I said to Carolyn, you know, I love coming to Trinity things. There's such great families here. It just feels like a community, but more it feels like a family.
I love dropping my kids off here every day, knowing the environment that they're going into. We've come from public schools, and I had no idea schools could be like this.
I love that we can come to school every day and learn about Jesus and have to spend time with him and get to pray so long with our teachers, and we can just trust our teachers for whatever we need. We don't have to be scared to ask a question.
Trinity's big enough that our kids have a lot of opportunities, but it's been small enough that our kids have been able to get to know kids in older grades, even some of the kids in the high school. And so here you have a fourth grader that loves going to the musicals, the high school musicals, to get to see some of her friends perform, or wanting to go to the high school football games because they know the students that are there. Mm-hmm. That has been one of those surprises for us that we've loved, mm-hmm. as we've seen our kids engage, not just with kids their own age, mm-hmm. but even have some older kids that kind of, whether it's mentor them or walk with them, that they can look up to.
Just knowing the interactions that they have here, the friendships they're making, and the teachers and the staff just spend their time and share the love of Christ, and we're just tremendously grateful.
Probably to me as a mom, the most important thing is just seeing the spiritual influence on my children and seeing the growth that they come home talking about things that I have not talked to them about, and you know, scripture, they'll ask questions, and so I feel like as a mom, as parents, like that has been like the biggest gift. Just to see that has been a huge blessing for us.
I've had a really good experience here. Made lots of really good friends, really good relationships with the teachers, and just being able to talk to people around here, and also being in the Bible all day, every day. It's just been really cool to experience that at a school.
Just being a part of the special events at Trinity has been such an incredible experience. Being with the teachers pouring into us at school, but then also just being able to participate in Goose Chase or at homecoming even, because it's something that no other schools have ever had. And so it's just a really cool opportunity that we get at Trinity.
When Liz and I talk about what our kids have kind of walked through and been through in these last 3 years, we've seen our kids thrive for a number of different reasons. One in particular we were just talking about was our teachers. The teachers at Trinity have been amazing. They've helped our kids academically, but even more so than that, we really have trusted every one of the teachers that our kids have had, that they truly love our children. They are living out their faith as they're working with the kids. They know that kids aren't perfect, but they're walking with them, care not just about academics, but have cared about their character and cared about them knowing scripture and loving one another as they interact with each other.
I was thinking about what our experience has been at Trinity from before we had students that were old enough to go to the high school, and watching students that we knew that worked for our family business. We knew some young men, and they just seemed so mature and just had good conversation skills, people skills. And I remember thinking, will our kids be that way when they get to that age? And it's kind of amazing what happens, but we've seen our son, who's now in college, start as such a young, just lab puppy, we would call it, as a freshman, and to find the neatest friends and the character sharpening, iron sharpening iron friends, that he really grew into a man in those 4 years. And I know Trinity had such a big part of that, the teachers, the coaches, the mentors that he had through Trinity. And now for our daughter Elsa, it's the same way. She's come as a, just barely out of 8th grade, and we see her now as a almost senior, just growing into a godly young woman that we know Trinity has made such an impact on her. We can't even imagine all the little ways every day that people are shaping her and building into her.
We were assessing 4 years of high school and academics and athletics and friends. And Carolyn and I both looked at each other and said that was an amazing investment. It was well worth it. And we feel like that with our other kids too. As a matter of fact, we had more kids so we could be at Trinity forever.
Trinity has been this enormous gift for our family. And without the generous financial aid, we wouldn't be here. But it's also made us kind of process in our own lives, how are we able to be generous? How are we able to give back? As we look at other people too, it's humbling to receive it, and yet also has kind of challenged us in our own way of how we can look at others and be generous in the ways that we're able to.
It's been awesome too. We've been able to just talk to our kids about that, like, we are here because other people are giving, and how can we in our own lives give so that it blesses other people. And so I feel like it's been a kind of a cool circle of events, just being able to see that and then also do that in our own lives too.
I had the opportunity to go to Central Community Church a long time ago with Bill Nath and Pete Oakes and Bob Smith to see the first class at Trinity, and I got to visit, have lunch with the students, and so my experience goes back to the very beginning, and so to be here today at this campus is just amazing to see how God has just brought all this together, and just the families and the teachers and the academic excellence and everything is just amazing 25 years later.